Hello, everyone out there, and welcome to a new episode type of installment for the Bodhana Family Webinar Series. And we call this series the Treehouse. We'll tell you a little bit about what that means, and we'll introduce all our special guests. It's kind of a chance for us to, for those of us who have hair, to let our hair down and just kind of talk in more of a casual way about all things gaming. And we're going to have a couple of different special episodes throughout the year with a ton of different special guests. But for the aid of giving our introductions, why don't I go ahead and start our presentation a while, because that's where we'll have all of our wonderful peoples. What do you think,
Great
guys?
idea, Jack.
All
I
right.
like it.
Thanks.
Sure.
I'm loving it. Okay. So, as we said, this is our family webinar, The Treehouse, and this is our holiday shopping guide. So, all of our special guests here. Nate, one of our very special and not regular, but maybe in the future, why don't you go ahead and tell the folks out there in the Bodhanaverse a little about yourself?
Also pictured above, illegally owning weapons at the age of 7.
There you go. So yeah, my name is Nate. I've been friends with Jack and James for a number of years.
No specific number, just a number?
I'm not going to do math right now.
I personally appreciate that I was the add-on.
So I guess that's fair. James was, I was going to say James for a longer period of time, but then that felt kind of like rude to Jack. So then I just kind of split the difference and said, I've known you guys a while. Anyway, so a little bit of my background, just so you guys know where I'm coming from. I have a hitherto unused degree in elementary education. I did specialize in reading assessment and diagnosing like reading comprehension problems, that kind of stuff. However, I've known Jack and the Bodhana group for a number of years. I've attended and helped with SAVE. I just kind of a general all-around font of geek knowledge in all spheres. I do a little bit of video gaming, board gaming, role-playing games. I pretty much touch on everything. Yeah.
All right. And James.
Hi, James Kirk, therapeutic GM for the Bodhana group, also font of geek information. I am a member of the Santa Squad this year. That is what I told my 3-year-old, so that he doesn't suspect that things are hinky as far as my changing communication with the big guy. So yeah, I've been a therapeutic GM for a little over 3 years at this point.
Yep.
And been helping Bodhana before that for 2 or 3 years. Actually, at one point, volunteering with Nate, helping to run games and such. And my training webinar motto of Gloomhaven is life, because it is.
Back in the old Masonic Lodge when we rented that for
yes,
Masonic Lodge.
The third and fourth years of Save Against Fear. And hello again, as always, folks. I am Jack Birkenstock Jr. I'm the executive director, one of the founders of the Bodhana Group, therapeutic GM also for TBG, and Ghostbusters also is life. So not to create contention or dissension amongst the ranks, but what are we going to be doing today? Well, first of all, we're going to cover some of the services. If you're interested in finding out more about the Bodhana Group and what it is that we do, we run board game and therapeutic tabletop role-playing games. These function for helping with a bunch of different therapeutic uses, as well as different skill building and educational purposes. We offer consultation and training, as well as resource development if you are a practitioner and you'd like to find out how to use games in your therapeutic or beneficial programming. We can show you how and design a program to fit your needs and your demographics of your clients. We also have episodes of Gaming with Intention, the Bodhana Cast. We run Save Against Fear, the convention, And we have a Wizards, Warriors, and Wellness. Currently, the volume is for role-playing games, but very, very, very soon, and expect announcements, we have a board game companion coming out that is very soon going to drop on Drive-Thru RPG, where you can find all written materials of the Bodhana group. So with all of that wonderful in tow...
Wait, can I put an add-on on that?
Oh, absolutely.
So you guys, well, you two know my buddy Randy, who is a licensed therapist up in the Northumberland area. And Jack, I just wanted to say he's been using your Wizards, Warriors, and Wellness book to kind of jumpstart integrating therapeutic role-playing game into his practice up there.
Yay!
And he
that's
cited that as being
fantastic.
super helpful because you did most of the legwork for him, like presenting it to his higher ups so that he could say, hey, this has a benefit. So yeah, it definitely worth it.
Well,
Definitely worth it.
Be sure
And
to
the quick plug, that's
Yeah.
available on Tabletop RPG for purchase, right?
Drive-Thru RPG.
Drive-Thru RPG. Sorry, my bad.
Yep. No, we have lists and links at the end here. And yeah, we actually just launched our training calendar. So we'll be offering training sessions of that you can book directly from the Bodhana Group website. And it actually, if you are a licensed practicing counselor or get counseling credits through MBCC, you can actually get CE hours for that training. So
Tonight, you are very lucky in the fact that you have all three of us here. Normally, you would have had me and Nate, or Nate and I. Sorry, grammar.
No, Nate and me.
Nate and me. He's going to grade you. It's already, he said it. He's going to grade you.
Okay, so point of all of this is that due to some unforeseen possible technical issues, Jack has come on just in case my computer system conks out. So why are we talking about this stuff? All right, well, so every year we've gamers that, enjoy the hobby, they like games, they want games, they ask for games, and the people that are their loved ones take a look at their list and say, I don't know what any of these things are, and you either get together and say, thank you for coming, that we could exchange gift cards, or you get socks. Right, and socks are fuzzy, and
I got a lot of unwanted sweaters growing up.
Yeah, right.
Mom was big on sweaters. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, sweaters are just like socks for your chest, really. Like it's
that's definitely what they are.
A lot of it's the same material.
Yeah. When sweaters have now led to lumberjack shirts, so it's a very good look, Nate.
And I mean, sometimes like there are gamers that will just openly complain about things in their own collection or things that they don't have. Like, man, I was telling Nate, like one of the impetus for this was that, every time, a gamer could say, every time somebody wants to play Clank, I have to carry 5 boxes with me because it's all the expansions and the Clank box. Well, maybe there's something out there that would hold all of your Clank stuff, but you don't necessarily know about that. We're going to try to fix some of that for you tonight with our holiday shopping guide directly from the Bodhana group to you, the people.
With love. Cocoa not included.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So there are some things that you should probably ask about before buying. This list is caveated at the bottom by just saying, like, if you're shopping from a list, this is really a matter of like doing your own research, asking some probing questions, trying to find out what some of those things are. Don't just go, well, I don't know what this is. But if you're talking to somebody that plays games, some basic things that you should ask them. Like this game that they keep talking about, this Mystic Veil. Is there anything else that you need to be able to play this game? Are you like you're all set? You got all the stuff you need for that?
No batteries required for Mystic Veil. Just
there's no batteries
out there into the ether.
Is there anything besides the games on your list that you need right now to play your games? Or anything that you might want to get to, like maybe hold that pile of cards that you have sitting on my table. Or
sleeving those cards, or something better than I'm going to throw all my components into that empty box because I took the organizer provided by the manufacturer, which didn't encompass now the 5 additional sets of components that I have for this original core game. So it's literally dump pile components all out on the table.
We can't get into a conversation about my feelings around box insert organizers because we don't have time for that. We have to move on.
Yeah, sorry, Jack, you weren't going to be on this presentation originally. That we've talked.
I will
Okay.
say this as a quick caveat. Again, you guys asked me on here, so this is your fault. I'd say pretty much any of the stuff that's coming out from Kickstarter lately, or a lot of the new games, anyone who seems to be partnering with Game Trays with a Z for extra extremeness, the storage systems in those are fabulous. I really haven't hit a game yet where the storage system, if it's been developed by Game Trays, has been a letdown.
Well,
Anyway, sorry.
no. That's not. I mean, these are good things that maybe folks don't think about or consider. I mean, a lot of games. I know Grim Forest is one example. Between Two Castles. These are very tightly organized game storage. So there are a lot of games that get it right. There are a lot that it takes a while. So that's why you like what do you
Dice Forge came with a map.
Yeah.
That showed you where everything in the box is supposed to go. And then you have games, I've mentioned this on trainings before, then you have games like Fireball Island. That it doesn't go back in the way.
I was going to say that probably doesn't go back in the box, does it?
No, it's not.
No,
It's
not
supposed
very well.
to.
Not very
it's
well.
Supposed to. I don't believe them, but it's supposed to. So like just asking, what sort of games do you prefer to play? Now they might say things like Euro games. You don't probably know what a Euro game is if you're not familiar with gaming. But ask some questions. It's okay to do that. But one thing that I really do want to hit, which is the bottom thing on this list for questions to ask people when you're shopping for them, do you have any places you prefer to shop? Now, yes, I know that Miniature Market and Amazon and Cool Stuff Inc. and there's lots of internet places where we can, and at this point, honestly, very safely, like acquire the things that you want to acquire. When we're allowed to be around people at some point, find out if they have places that they like to shop, because around the holidays, you might be able to get something $5, $6, $8 cheaper online. But I would also like to throw some love to local gaming stores.
So to add on that real quick, check with your local gaming store. Ours here on the east end of town, Comic Store West, I don't know if I can do name drops or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Have during the entire pandemic been offering curbside delivery. So if you call ahead and request a game that they have, they'll bring it right out to your car. I think right now they're actually doing shipping, free shipping within the region.
Yeah.
So don't count them out. They really do need your help. Your independent game stores are suffering because there's no foot traffic. They can't have game nights. They can't do your Friday night magics. Thursday night magic. When is magic now?
Friday night magic is still FNM.
But yeah, it just to just leapfrog on James. It absolutely go and explore those avenues. They will be, for the most part, happy to accommodate someone giving them money right now.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and some added bonus to FLGSs as well, your friendly local game stores, is a lot of those folks, again, when you're ordering something in an online capacity, you're kind of faced to do your own research. I mean, a benefit if you have someone who prefers to go to a certain shop is maybe they would go there for regular game nights. So maybe some of the other patrons like, you know what, man, every time that we get together, Freddie's always complaining about blah, blah, blah. Hey, do you got anything to kind of meet that need? Why, absolutely. We have a product that fits exactly that sub. So, gamer stores, gamer areas, they know each other. It's another one of those community outlet. We talk a lot.
We talk a lot.
Oh yeah.
People know things about
this presentation bears that out, that we talk a lot.
I can attest that James and Jack do talk a lot.
It's how Nate got on here.
Yeah,
it is.
So going next, do you want me to go to the next slide, Sir James?
Yeah, please do.
All right.
Onward.
So the goods, right? These next several slides until we're done are just going to be some things that Nate and myself kind of thought about, as far as maybe some gift ideas, but some that a lot of these will have farther reaching reasons as to why they're on here. But first, Gloomhaven is life. Let's talk about Jaws of the Lion. Gloomhaven initially from Cephalofair Games came out to absolute rave reviews. I got introduced to it actually by Nate and some of my other friends, and then immediately made a deal with whatever entity was willing to listen to me to get my own copy of it. And now I'm involved in 3 different Gloomhaven games. Super fun. But anyway,
Jeez Louise.
Jaws of the Lion is a Gloomhaven product that has 25 scenarios in it, and it is a standalone game. It can be combined with the regular main set of Gloomhaven, but it is much cheaper. It is laid out in the manner that the game designers plan on releasing the rest of their content as they go forward.
Are they doing the storybook from now on, even for
Yes.
the Frost Haven?
Well, Frosthaven is going to have Fog of War.
Are they doing the storybook for Frost Haven?
Oh no, the maps are not in the book.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay.
But it's a beginner Gloomhaven. It's going to let people play the game, get their feet wet, and experience the game in a way that is not, you must invest, $150.
And 25 pounds of storage space. Is
Yeah,
it? But it's the exact same game. Your mechanics are resolved through card draw. Your results are resolved through card draw. You go and unlock different places. It's just in a smaller package.
Yeah, it's a very, very exciting, very well put together, progressive campaign style game with all kinds of awesome in it.
And you can get this at Target, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I actually got my copy at Target.
Right. Now, we were just talking about friendly local game stores, and I know mine does have a copy of this, but if you live somewhere where that's not Target.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things, just let folks know, because again, research will bear a lot of this out. There are also a lot of game companies, a lot of game designers that are coming out with exclusives. This is not necessarily a brand new thing, but due to exposure, a lot of companies, including Target, I know that Walmart also had some exclusives as well, but they're coming out with games that can only, at least for the first number of months that is available, you can only get them at certain retailers because they have a special deal with the publisher. I know there was a puzzle game, Neil Patrick Harris, I believe, is one of the co-designers on it, that is only available through Target. I can't remember the title, and Jen will probably shout it at me.
Probably Fog of Love was a Walmart exclusive for a while.
Yes, that was, which is a great couples game.
This is not an exclusive to Target. You can just get it at Target, but you can get it other places.
Right.
And also interesting to note, while I was looking up Jaws of the Lion, and we're going to provide links for you guys at the end of this of where all of these items can be found online, usually through the company that made them or the company that distributes them. But then, you can shop from there. When I looked this up on Cephalofair's website, they are sold out of this. So you can't order it from the designer. You can get it from other places.
There's going to be copies in the wild still.
Yeah.
Jaws of the Lion is up first just because it's an introductory version of a really wonderful game that if they at all enjoy strategy and fantasy dungeon crawls and resource management and all that kind of thing, this is totally what they should play.
All right.
Gloomhaven is life. Next.
So what other goods?
Ooh, okay. So Parks from Keymaster Games. So this came out as Kickstarter last year. It was based on a collaborative art project called the 59 Parks Project, where a bunch of different artists put together different styles of art to represent our 59 national parks, which are one of America's key amazing things about it, right? Our national park system is amazing. Anyway, so you take that beautiful art and you put on a nice hiking simulator on top of it. It is basically Tokaido. At the end of the game, you are playing Tokaido. However, the components are absolutely hands down gorgeous and top of the line quality. The gameplay is simple, straightforward, and everyone in your family can definitely hop on this. Ages 10 and up, I think, is a pretty accurate representation of the age groups for this. But if your kid's a good reader, they are familiar with other board games, you can definitely go a little lower than that.
Absolute.
Some of the sales, as you can see here, do go towards the national park system, and
Nate's going to
Oh,
jump
Nate
out of
brought
his
props.
window. Oh, uh-oh.
So I have my copy. We were talking about game tray organizers and stuff like that. This is nothing but my copy at the very least, and I believe all copies come with handy little, you can't really see those because there's a lot of glare, but organizers. So these are little snap trays. Pop open, all your pieces are in there.
Yep.
Really well put together. Like I said, top of the line components. You definitely can tell, like, you know where your money went in this game. Sometimes you buy a $25 game and there are, I don't know, maybe 104 cards and a half a sheet of cardboard, and you're wondering what's the production here. You will not question that with this.
Well, no, I mean, I think another thing about that type of organizer tray that you should, because that's the same type of format that Grim Farce and some of the, the other game I mentioned at the beginning use. The great thing about that is you don't have to worry about getting this bag out and opening up that bag. You literally get the tray, pop off the top, you're set to go. You're immediately able to go ahead and play, which also is, it's great to be in, what are we now, in like the 15th renaissance of the board game hobby or something like that, where we're getting a lot more user friendly because of the fact that the hobby is more accessible to more people. So it's not as, eclectic and esoteric as it once was, which is great to see.
Depends on the company, but
that
is
definitely
a discussion
does.
for a different day.
All right. So more goods?
More goods.
More goods.
More gooder. Oh, it's me again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, Nate, I want to mention, after you introduced Jack and I to this game, and we've been playing on Board Game Arena, this is now in my cart.
I told you, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is this year's Kennerspiel das Jahren winner.
I'm sorry, say that again. That was
Kennerspiel das Jahren, which is the we're all probably aware of Kinderspiel des Jahren, which is the German Game of the Year award. Kennerspiel is like the older person's group of Kinderspiel.
Okay.
As I butcher my 2 years of high school German pronunciations on these bad boys.
Des Jahres.
Yeah, that, sure.
It's just play of the year.
Right, but this is the adult play of the year, which is cool. So the basic this game is explained in its mechanics. It is a cooperative trick-taking game. So trick takers are not genre, I think, has a lot of play in the modern discussion of board games, but they are pretty traditionally well known, especially anyone who played 52 deck games, 52 card deck games. Bridge is an example of a trick-taking game. Hearts is an example of a trick-taking game.
Spades, pinochle.
Spades. Anything that your grandparents played that you do not understand is a trick-taking game. But the way that this game works is you are a team of astronauts, and you are working together to successfully complete tricks in order to advance through and I use this lightly, campaign. There is a story attached to this game, and there are excerpts, and they do say things.
Sorry, you sounded like Chris Farley when you do it. Maybe I don't have manners or follow social graces or hygiene.
I will aggressively adjust my pants later. However,
thank you.
I gotta say, this absolutely blew me away. It is one of the simplest and most straightforward games I've played, but the amount of mileage they get out of the base mechanic in this it's mind-blowing. It is a true testament to the fact that you do not need a lot of extra stuff to make a game special or amazing.
No, absolutely. When you introduced James and I and our good friend Doug it was us first, but the thing that drove me like just wonderful was I sometimes with certain games, like I get frustrated easily if there's something that for as many bullet heck games as I play in the video game world, it's just, oh my God, but we're like, level 10, level 10, and just so because you defeat, you reset, you do it again. Like we must have done that mission, like 15 times or something. And we were just like, oh God, I cannot get this. And there's 50 quests?
There are 50 missions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, setup is nothing for this game. Because anytime it's a new round, you just shuffle the deck. You have to draw some new objective cards, but at most you're shuffling 2 decks of cards. It plays fast, and it is one of those games that really rewards the player with realizations of rhythm and
Mm.
unspoken communication, because the way that you can communicate information in the game is extremely limited. I won't go through the whole mechanical list here,
Yeah, it's
but
not. Yeah.
it
Oh.
is, Jack, I know you don't like The Mind, the game The Mind, because you groaned about it when I brought this game up, but it has a similar kind of eureka moment process, in that you start to understand the language of the game and the way that you're communicating without speaking.
Well, because I don't think, I think it's actually far more of a critical thinking, because we got to put the Bodhana spin on it to some degree, right? Not in a heavy way, but I mean,
I was talking about communication, but yeah.
well, no, communication, but I think it's more critical thinking
It is.
and logic. Like it's, yeah, I know it's, every game is critical thinking, but it literally is you're
really
only
is.
able to communicate once per round when you speak. So
if that, yeah.
yeah, so when you deliver this information, you have, you have to really be careful about what you communicate, because you get one shot.
Yeah. Jack and I mean, when we played last, I know that you guys were starting to do what I was doing, was starting to break down and analyze who could possibly have what cards left. What do I have in my power to do to get them to play those cards when they need to be played? And you start to break down and comprehend more and more as you go. I can't say enough about this. It came out of nowhere for me, which is ridiculous to say about an award-winning game, but I think this really did
Cinderella
fly.
story. I don't know.
I know. I really do think this flew under a lot of people's radar. It really is something truly special. Anyway, sorry.
And $15.
$15. You really can't go wrong.
Good,
It's great.
good for the family. Good for the wallet.
I would not play it. I've heard it plays decently with 2. 3 is a little easier than 4. 4 is, I think, what it's made for. But
Yeah. 4 stuff, but really good.
Yeah.
All
Anyway,
right. More
next game.
goods.
More goods.
More goods.
More goods.
So this next one, I got to experience with a couple of friends, and it left a mark. This has been one of the more fun games that I have played recently, over the course of the last year or so. So Moonrakers is a combination deck building, resource management, and negotiation. What I mean by this is that it takes several different main types of gameplay and just sticks it together, but does it really well. So you all have like your own ships, and you do deck building where you start out with a certain number of resources and you can purchase other resources for your deck, or you can make other decisions to hire crew, or you have a ship and the ship is upgradable during the course of the game. So you can upgrade your deck, upgrade your personnel, or upgrade your ship. The idea is that you are attempting to complete different scenarios that the game presents you, and those scenarios, until much later in the game, are way harder to take on singly than they would be if you negotiated help with the other players at the table, which everybody can do, but then you kind of have to, like, negotiate, like, okay, here are the rewards that we're getting for this. You get this much, you get this much, I get this much. And everybody, like, that you invite kind of decides on whether they like that deal or not, and then counter. And then you discuss whether or not you're going to do it. And eventually you complete stuff and you're racing ultimately for victory points. So there is one winner, but nobody wins without working together.
Wow.
You have to be able to cooperate with the other people at the table. It's a very dynamic game. It does a lot of things really well. The visuals on it, Parks is gorgeous, but the visuals and the artwork on this game are really slick. Super sci-fi looking. All of the personnel, the different crew that you can hire, every one of their pictures looks like they got their photo taken at a police station. with the way that the photos are done. They're all done like mugshots. At least that's how it came across to me.
Nice.
They look very cool. The cards are very interactive with each other. You can do a lot of different stuff during the course of the game. You're constantly involved because even if it's not your main turn, you're probably still helping somebody else do a thing. And you need to pay attention to where everybody else is at. It's a really, really cool game.
Nice.
And for me, much like the crew for Nate, I didn't even know this game existed, and it's one of the most fun games that I've played recently. That's why I put it on here, just because I had so much darn fun playing this thing.
Awesome.
That I really wanted to pick it up, and I think it's a great find.
Nice.
All right. More goods.
More goods.
More goods. More goods. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Goods.
Me again. Yeah. So, this is a book. It is a book called The Monsters Know What They're Doing. It is a book for DMs. So basically, this is based on this gentleman's Keith Ammon runs a blog where he talks about utilizing monsters in D&D in new and more effective ways that go along and expand upon their player's handbook or monster manual description.
So wait, Nate. So what you're saying essentially is that normally in some role-playing games, we might have the problem of every single bugbear acts as though they've had like level 10 like green beret black ops training, or like every enemy acts the same. So this kind of like spins that a little bit, like.
Yeah, he talks a lot about his reasoning behind why certain monsters would work certain ways. But the problem is, it might start making the bugbears a little more like Black Op operatives because they are extremely stealthy beasts. They're super strong and they know their way around the woods. So if played correctly, they'd be a much scarier opponent than they're traditionally like played out to be. It's the expansion of the idea that you can kill any level of adventurers with nothing but kobolds if you're using kobolds the way that kobolds should be used. Genuinely interesting. If you just want to check out the blog and get kind of an idea of what he writes about, it's there, but this is a huge book with a lot of really cool information and ways to expand your games.
Yeah, well, I think that's perfect because it adds that spice of difference instead of like, oh, here's the next, blah, 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 to not kind of knock down. Because we talk a lot in games about tactics of the enemy. And, so it's also not, well, obviously they've survived as long as they have. So it's not that all these creatures are quote unquote like unintelligent. You know what I mean?
And anything with a brain is probably not not suicidal in relentlessly attacking a human until, everyone around it is dead.
Yeah.
It's just a different way to look at things, and I think a nice companion to anyone looking to run games.
All right. More goods.
More goods.
More goods. Mouse clicks first, then more goods.
You did it, Jack.
Great. IKEA. Merry Christmas. No, Oh, no, not IKEA?
No.
I want IKEA.
It would be the Calyx.
Put IKEA on here. All right. So this is from a company called Kidcraft. It's a kid's reading nook. However, if your kid has board games, or maybe if your kid was like me and very, very young, was already playing some RPGs, or if you are playing RPGs with your family, any of these things, you see all those storage holes there? That's for your stuff.
Yummy.
Right? So this is a very cool piece of furniture in that it not only has like plenty of storage space for games and RPG books and all sorts of things like that. It's a lightweight piece of furniture. It's 32 pounds.
Nice.
That's
for the whole
slightly
thing.
more than a copy of Gloomhaven.
Yeah. If you can lift a copy of Gloomhaven, you can pick this up.
And it's a callback as well. Thank you, Nate.
And Gloomhaven will probably fit in that bottom right thing there, but just Gloomhaven.
It will double the weight of the.
But another reason that I like it is because the way that it's built, it is sturdy enough. The weight rating is escaping me for some reason right now, but it is sturdy enough for younger children to be able to sit on that cushion, put their feet up, they're reading a book, So you've created a space for them to hang out in, along with a space to be able to hold games and gaming materials and things like that. If you have like a game room and you're doing something, they can hang out and read a book while you guys are playing at the table. Like
Nice.
there's all sorts of stuff you can do with this. Um, but I thought it was a really nice piece of furniture. It was rated well. Um, we have something similar to this, but not exactly that. Um, but yeah, I wanted to include that in the shopping guide.
See, not just games, folks, things to think about your decor. I mean, look at also the fact of, a kid sitting there reading, they got their book that was from that shelf. It teaches the valuable skill of put it away before you go away. So, also some great stuff there. More goods.
More goods.
More goods.
Okay.
Oh,
Untitled.
a vampire LARP.
Yep, you got it.
Okay.
Never mind, I won't make that joke. So this is demonstrating light bulbs. Specifically, the ones that I have in my game room are Philips Hue light bulbs. But programmable light bulbs can add a lot to a game room.
What do you mean, Nate? How do those work for those who may not be aware?
Why, like this, Jack, an app on your phone, like all things in this modern world. You screw these light bulbs in. The kit comes with a bridge.
Wait, how many gamers does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Hopefully just one at a time.
Okay, just wanted to check.
Right. So you get the kit. You put the bulbs in. The kit usually comes with a bridge. The bridge you connect to your Wi-Fi router. And then you connect your phone to your home. You can change the light scheme of each individual light in a room.
Wow.
You can set their brightness or dimness. They have preset ambiance, but you can also, if you are so inclined, scan a picture of a room and or a color scheme that you like, and then upload that picture, and it will analyze the picture and build a light scheme in the room from that picture.
Wow.
So what does this have to do with gaming? Here's what I do with this. So I play a couple different games. One of the games that we play currently, we go to basically a low-key jazz bar for contacts and mission stuff, right? So when we go into the jazz bar, my wife goes ahead and queues up the jazz bar playlist on Spotify, and then we hit the jazz bar setting on the lights. The lights change to like a kind of velvety bluish overtone. So now we've set a scene through both audio and lights in the house. At the same time, you can get a little more clever with it and sync them up. So you just select one thing and it'll change the ambience. But if you wanted to combat, make the lights brighter, you could do that. It's a nice little thing to add a little more character to your games without a whole lot of like fiddling around.
And in unexpected ways, like ways that you wouldn't generally think.
If you do not tell your players about this and then bust out color changes when like stuff goes south, they will absolutely notice, and you will blow their minds the first time that happens.
Or have like a color scheme for a certain villain. So anytime that color scheme is there, like, it's like theme music. What's the price point on something like that on average? Is this a high invest or?
It's a medium investment. It's a lot for a light bulb. I will say that. They are LED, so they do last a long time, and the energy usage is not high. But you're looking at probably dropping a couple for a full set, depending on how many lights your room needs. You could be close to $200.
No, but if you play a lot, or
if you play a lot, or you think you'll get something out of this, I think it is a nice investment. It is something I knew I wanted to do when I built my new game room.
Nice.
And you can do other things with these. They will also. You can get light strips that tie into your computer or television and then extend the light projection array that your TV is currently doing. So let's say you're watching a movie, it extends that light beyond the screen to add almost like an aura that matches the action on the TV. It's hard to explain until you see it in real life, but it adds a really cool effect. That is an additional investment though. So you could do a lot with these that aren't just role-playing games.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
More goods?
More goods.
We have more goods.
So, one thing that I think sometimes escapes general notice, or you think about it but don't really know like what to do with it and whatnot, are gaming accessories. I picture a dice bag here because it's simple, right? But there are you can do dice trays, you can do like game bags that have like, you know, slots for board games to be packed within. If somebody's a miniature painter, you know, painting supply bags, things of that nature. There's all kinds of stuff that you can get monogrammed or get them personalized. And honestly, like I don't own anything that's monogrammed or personalized for my gaming. Um, Nate, you were gonna say something.
No, I was just agreeing
okay.
and smiling at
Okay.
what you were saying. We're good.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you were gonna be like, well, I have all the things personalized. Everything
No, I
has
have
my
nothing.
initials on it.
I'm Nate. I have fancy light bulbs. What?
Well, I do have fancy light bulbs. I will say that.
But another reason that I wanted to bring this up is because is there's a wide range of independent artists and people that we now have access to over like online that do really good work. That you know you can speak to that offer things like this on like Etsy stores, you know, and things of that nature. Um, Give it a look because there's a lot of things that you can get personalized for, you know, gaming family and friends that you're looking to get a gift for. That they would actually find way more meaningful than getting them, you know, like a copy of Spirit Island.
Okay,
You
now hold
Did
on.
you say that to
I
set
think
him
a
up
copy of Spirit
intentionally?
Island is an
That-
extremely good gift and one that all good children should receive for Christmas.
But do they have a My First Spirit Island, like a
That-
kid's version of Spirit Island?
Oh man, that's a hard one to boil down to a kid's experience. My junior colonialism simulator. Yeah. Okay. The real thing you want to do
That's
with
not a
Spirit
good
Island,
sales title either.
you play a game of Catan and then you play a game of Spirit Island.
and then you
Anyway.
don't know how to feel
No, you know
like
exactly
about
how to
any
feel.
of it.
Because you are the ocean.
So yeah, and it not only like generic, but there's a wide range of like customizable IPs.
Yeah.
You know, like Harry Potter themed stuff and comic book themed stuff and Star Wars themed stuff, all the themed stuff, right? You can find it, like it's out there, but I would highly encourage taking a look because a lot of these things are also not nearly as expensive as you think they are, or would be. Um,
And you're paying for something someone made, and you know who that money is usually going to.
I grew up in a time where unless you physically knew somebody, you went to a place like Things Remembered, you know, to get
The Hallmark
stuff
store.
monogrammed, or the Hallmark store. Yeah, you had to go to like a fancy store.
I purchased this from a retailer at Save Against Fear. It's a great hand sewn dice bag. It's got 7 different pockets inside. Oh God, there's definitely options out there. Really, you can explore and find all kinds of really cool stuff. Yeah, James probably got it from the same person.
I did.
Yeah. On top of that, I would say, yeah, we were talking about just personalized stuff, but there's lots of websites that sell more specialized accessories and gaming gear. I don't think we're going to talk about any of that stuff specifically, but if you really want to treat someone nice, a nice set of like special custom dice. So there's dice out there that they make out of all kinds of metals and materials.
Yeah.
You can get fossilized bone dice. You can get, there is just an innumerable
precious
amount.
gemstone dice, metal dice. Yeah,
as crazy as you want to go. I've used I'll just plug a website, Die Hard Dice. I had a really great experience with them anytime I ordered from them. Sometimes they'd throw in an extra dice for me or whatever. All their stuff is like nice quality, without being out of control expensive, like you'll see on some of these other things. So that's always been good for me. One more thing I'd throw on these accessories is one that really doesn't get thought of a lot, to go to like game trays and stuff like that. A set of bowls, nice bowls, small bowls, like bowls,
like ramekin almost. If you
my preference is towards like a nice set of small wooden bowls for tokens, because then they don't have to sit on the table. You don't have to like fumble finger them up. They're just in a nice little selected place. They're not spread out over the table. Everybody can have theirs in front of them, but it's not something most people would buy for themselves. It's not something they would traditionally think. You might have to explain it to them when they open it up and they're getting like 6 wooden bowls and they're thinking, I don't know what this is. And you're like, it's for board games. And then you have to explain it again. Yeah, coin cases. We talked, I don't know, we didn't talk about those, but that goes in like card sleeve territory. People will put their tokens inside coin collector cases. It just adds longevity to your games. Just to go with what James was saying with accessories, there's a lot of accessories out there you don't immediately think of.
Well, and another way to kind of look at it, because I know that there's like devices that they've have for other industries and things like that. That if you go and check online for like DIY gaming solutions, there are very creative uses that people have come up with. There was this one set of plastic tubes that basically there were tubes that were used to hold like screws and bolts and nuts for like mechanics and such. And these things basically like they were corrugated. So you could pull them open, pull them closed, and they still say close. Perfect way for you to store tokens, that just weren't laying in like a baggie or something like that. And sometimes you can even find unique like storage options and little pieces of like nice, stuff to go in a game room at like your local Goodwill or a consignment store or a community aid. Because a lot of these things are like, little office desk top organizers. A lot of these things have double use for gamers. So I think the other good thing about something like this is not only does it meet an additional need for a gamer, but if you're talking something unique, it's something that you're not going to see in another game room. And it's something that has that personal touch, which is always the hallmark of a good gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what else is the hallmark of a good gift?
More gift.
More goods.
More good.
More goods. All right. We have a running gag. And people wish it would be a runaway gag. All right.
Only because you whipped that horse until it ran. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. And it'll be funnier the 9th time I say it.
It won't. Hey, another Nate gift. This was put out this year by Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons. It is their official cookbook. And it's pretty cool.
Have you eaten one of the recipes from this yet?
Not yet. I've eaten recipes very close to recipes in this book. It's a simple cookbook. Nothing in here is like out of the blue. Nothing's going to be super crazy. A lot of it is basic food with a title slapped on it. But in a world where we get to see our friends in person again, this would be a really great welcome back thing. It's all pretty to understand. It's got flavor text woven throughout it without someone talking about how much their husband loves it. It's just his favorite meal ever since they started making it. But
I just like flavor text.
Oh God!
You didn't even intend, and you did that.
Yeah.
Nate.
Yeah.
Nate.
Yeah.
What's it taste like?
Paper, I would assume. I haven't really chewed on my wife's copy, but
that's some garbage flavor text, man.
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, the pages are lickable and they do taste like gravy. Is that what you wanted?
That's like Birdie Bots level.
A gravy book?
A gravy book, not a Navy book?
No, not a Navy book. A gravy book.
Yes, to serve man is what they should have called it.
Oh, there you go. There you go. It is broken down by D&D races. So there's like elfish dishes and dwarf dishes and human dishes, and they're exactly what you'd expect. But it's nice. It's well illustrated. It's a nice little thing for the geek in your life. And like I said, if we ever get to see people in person again, there's a nice way to say welcome back.
Well, and another, I mean, kind of going along with the other stuff that, you shared as far as like, the different things to spice up your game. I remember years ago, like when we used to play Shadowrun, we would order cuisine, that would kind of fit with. So it's another good way that you could even, use this to amp up the game night itself, get beyond the stereotypical Cheetos and Mountain Dew or whatever.
Yes, we would sit down to play Shadowrun and enjoy some takeout from Happy Peanut Tide to Go.
Exactly. I was actually going to remark on, James, if you remember when we did our DC Boosters campaign where we played high school superheroes, we had a prom. And so we all brought foods that our character would bring. So I made paste because my character was a speedster who drew his energy through entropy. So he had to consume an equal amount of calories to his body weight every day or he couldn't use his powers. So he ate nutrient paste that would boost him up. So I made banana pudding because that was the flavor of the paste was banana. And my wife brought takeout egg rolls. So but it's stuff like that. It really does amp up your experience.
Absolutely. More of
More goods.
the goods.
More
The
goods.
goods.
Are
More
there more
goods,
goods?
less Jeremy Piven. Ooh, I can talk about this puppy.
And I would like you to, since you're here.
Oh, thank you. So, Ordinary Towns is a wonderful resource. It is from our very good friends of the Bodhana group, Legendary Pants, who has been a sponsor of Save Against Fear for the last number of years. And actually, if you were an attendee at this last year's all virtual Save Against Fear, you actually, with your pass to the event, you got a free PDF copy of this. This is a creative supplement. It has generic settings for over 50 different unique town locations. And the cool thing about this is they basically set up these as towns, the places you stop by on, the way that you're going to your normal quest. It's just hey, we need to stop in this town to fuel up, to get more rations or whatever. 750 unique NPCs throughout this book. So even if you don't use the town as it was originally designed, you can use all of those great characters as NPCs in your story. We're actually using one of the towns from Ordinary Towns right now in our grant-funded Pugmire game that we're playing on Tuesdays. And I just took, and all I had to do was go through and go, okay, instead of dwarves and elves and whatever, they're dogs, cats, lizards, birds, because I have Pirates of Pugmire. It's a fantastic resource from a great company that also makes excellent dice. So Legendary
their
Pants,
dice are super cool.
Yeah, and it's an incredible resource that just gives you so many different great settings that you can use, because each town has like a weird backstory, like something, looks like a pretty normal town at first, then you peel back, you peel back a layer or two, and it's like a Twilight Zone episode. So available from the website in either physical copy or PDF.
PDF indeed.
PDF.
I think that's it for goods, right?
That is the goods.
No more goods.
I have more goods. I have more goods.
Nate has more goods. Do you call them the goods?
Sure, why not?
So-sos?
No, they're the goods. These are the goods. This is one that didn't make it in here, and I think we will just ended up throwing it in the links when this goes up for posting,
right,
so that everybody can see them.
Where did those others? Oh no!
I mean, that's it, Jack.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had some other mentions.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through my other mentions, things that we just didn't put a picture in for.
Oh.
So we talked a lot about ambiance and how to set a game night for other players, which honestly could have been a talk in and of itself, and it really found its way in because it's an easy gift idea that people don't always think about. There's a candle company called Calliope Candle Works. I have bought candles from them for years. Last year I got my wife the full set, but they do gaming and media themed candles. So they do a set of candles that are themed around different locations, like a dragon's lair or a dwarven mead hall or a portside town, that have a scent profile that would go with that location. And then when you melt them down, there is a metal dye in there. So you get one of a polyhedral.
So does the
dye.
dwarven town smell like hair and stone?
It's a dwarven tavern, so it smells like mulling spices.
Okay.
Which is really nice. I prefer it to the hairy BO candle. Yeah, that it's definitely a step above.
I don't imagine that sells well.
Not great. They did come out with a set that is player classes, so you can get a paladin candle or a barbarian candle and stuff like that. They're just super cool. It's a quality soy candle. They burn really well. They smell really good. You get a free dye. Well, you don't get a free dye, but there is a dice embedded.
Free toy inside.
Yeah, basically.
Does the paladin candle smell like better than you?
It does. It smells like smug superiority.
Nice.
Hold on. Let me actually give them their due and tell you what the paladin candle actually smells like.
Also, the halfling candle just does in fact smell like what the Rock is cooking.
Bacon?
I don't know if the Rock eats a lot of bacon.
Protein.
It's been years since we've talked
about the Rock in general, or yeah. Yes. So the paladin candle has notes of amber, frankincense, and myrrh, which are very temple smells. Those are smells from a
Oh,
temple.
I see.
Yeah, super cool website, super cool product.
That sounds like a Led Zeppelin album. Smells from a temple.
Smells from a temple.
Yeah.
Really like them. Anybody else have something they want to tack on? Board games or anything else?
No, I mean, like I covered most of the stuff that I wanted to mention. There's other stuff that's obviously out there, but these were just the things that I had kind of tiered in my head that I wanted to put on this.
Yeah, I think in general, when we talk about, I mean, one of the kind of points is, I mean, I think if you would ask all the three of us here what games we think people should buy, I mean, that changes.
That's tricky.
As the tides go, because everybody has their preference. I mean, we always, kind of joked about it earlier about, like Euros. Nate, you are very fond of Euro mechanics, correct?
It depends on the Euro mechanic, but yes.
Right. So, but there are also games that maybe I didn't quite think that I could tackle early on in my gamer hobby, but through playing games that, with Nate, James, everybody else that I no longer get afraid when I look at fiddly bits in a box. Fantasy Flight, you no longer lord over me like some type of fear-inducing ogre. But so it is one of those things that, I mean, just with the sheer amount of games that come out every year, there are a ton of options that people can pick. There's a ton of stuff out there. And a lot of it is about, if you're going to make that investment for the gamer in your life, know what they like, know what they're going to play.
Yeah, that's really key. It's hard for people to buy games for me, mostly because I
buy them
myself.
So for me, the takeaway here is like the process of gift giving is a getting to know you exercise.
Yes.
Right? Like you need to know things about the people that you're shopping for. So I think, my takeaway from this thing is, yeah, we could give you a list of 30 games right now.
Easily. Yep.
Per person.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That like we think that you should go out and get, or that somebody that plays games should own. But I think it really does come down to that important, like, kind of personal, sort of out of the box style of thinking. And, oh, you were listening to me all those times that I said I'm really tired of opening up my box of Imperial Twilight or Twilight.
Oh my God, guys, we never actually said the words broken token organizer.
Yeah, I specifically stayed away from that because they're really expensive.
Yeah, but we can still mention it in case you want to get fancy for somebody.
Sure. Yeah, you can get fancy and go with broken token.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of highlight the idea of organizers for games, or like Nate's fantastic suggestion of just those small wooden bowls that can be used to hold, if you're playing villainous, like everybody can have their own bowls for their power tokens that they collect every round, and just things that you can do to help make the game nights for the people that you care about smoother. Even if you're not into games, there's certainly plenty of things out there that you can do that make somebody feel like you thought about it, instead of thank you for coming so that we could exchange gift cards.
Yeah. Unless it's for a local game store who needs your support right now.
At which point, get all the game cards.
Yay, get them gift cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was everything I wanted to bring up for this. Like we said in the beginning, this is one of our more informal talks. We do have more formal trainings that are coming up. Jack took the screen down, but when you go, if you rewind it and pause it, there is a list of trainings that we're going to be having in the future here. Next week.
I will. I wanted to give our afterthoughts before I shared our. This is where to check out our links. So.
Okay. Cool.
Method to the madness. I did want to see, did anyone from our studio audience, as it were, any questions, comments, anything of that sort before we kind of drive to our goodbyes and maybe what our holiday wish. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really have many holiday wishes since COVID. It's kind of been Christmas all the time, combined with like Kickstarter, and just I now have a pile of games that I just cannot wait to break out with people once we are able to be back in person again. And just as a note, and I know it might seem like an unpopular opinion at the time, but please, folks, even though it is the holidays and we know it's been a rough year for everybody, it's been a rough year for all of us. Please, please, let's continue to stick it out and be supportive of each other and stay safe, so we don't make the holidays something that we don't look upon favorably.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's what my mantra this year has been like, okay, this is going to suck, but it means that we get to have more in the future.
Yeah.
It's 1 year.
Yep.
Yeah. So like we said, we want to
Year and
see
a half.
as many of you as we can around a game table soon. And the only way that we're going to accomplish that is by staying safe, keeping each other safe. It's because that's the way that we survive, by being a community that loves and cares about each other.
Correct.
Aww.
And now, if you would like to give people money, you can go to these links.
Engage in capitalism.
Yes, all right. Yay,
Feed the
smashing.
beast.
Yay, capitalism. So we're going to go back and do a couple more seconds on our slides of the links that you can go to. We showed them a little bit earlier. But for more information about us and all the wonderful things that we offer, go to thebodhanagroup.org or email us at thebodhanagroup@gmail.com. You can check us out also on Facebook, Twitter. Please look up. We are fast approaching and planning our dates for next year's Save Against Fear, which we are hoping to be in person here in fine city of York, Pennsylvania, and order our Wizards, Warriors, and Wellness book on Drive-Thru RPG. Upcoming, hopefully within the next month, will be our board game, Wizards, Warriors, and Wellness. And as James said, we are going to also be having a couple of other webinars in the future. So we have our continuation.
Next week.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yep.
James.
So next week, we're going to do the next installment of our Behind the Screen series, where we break down the therapeutic goals and skills that can be utilized through running a certain RPG system. This Behind the Screen is going to focus on the Fate core system, along with a whole bunch of the other Fate games.
Buckle up, kids, because Fate is a lot heavier than it seems. It is super good, but yeah.
So following that, we're going to do a discussion of critical thinking in games, which is one of my favorite topics ever, because critical thinking is in all of
every game.
We are going to do a discussion on safety tools.
Yes.
Sort of like your consent mechanic type things.
And we're actually, for that episode, we will have a special guest that will join us. That is Bo Sheldon, who is the inventor and designer of Script Change, a wonderful safety tool that we're going to go in depth on about how to use that in not only therapeutic gaming, but why it's beneficial to use safety tools in your home game as well. So that's going to be a wonderful deep dive with Bo, and we are looking absolutely wonderfully forward. And actually, we have a ton of other special guests, don't we, James, as we go to our next?
So the next one is going to be focusing on the Bodhana character of bringing games to life and bringing characters to life and bringing good things. No, that was GE. I can't.
That was GE.
Yes. Never mind. Bringing things to life, not a necromancer. We're going to talk about Krista, who is the character embodying education. And for that, I'm going to have a special guest joining me, who is in fact an educator, who will be able to talk about the educational aspects of games. And we are going to kind of deep dive on, maybe some of those games and how you can emulate the idea of educational material, not just in reading, but also through playing games.
Yeah. Nice. Then our next, in the middle of January, we are going to be doing another Behind the Screen series focusing on the child-designed game, No Thank You Evil from Monty Cook Games, from Monty Cook and Shauna Germain. And special guest Shauna Germain will be there to join us. It's to be a nice live discussion talking again about how the system was designed, what the thoughts were going into how to design it, and what makes that system great, not only for work with children, but also great for work with therapy. So a lot of great content coming from our webinar series that you can catch all of this by going to thebodhanagroup.org again. to see this wonderful content. Let's just very briefly, as James said, let's go back to look at some of our wonderful links of some of the things that we have talked about today. And please remember, if you like this community supported content, this is stuff that we, the Bodhana Group, want to offer free to the community. We love, of course, if you like this content, please feel free to donate to help us continue to offer this content that is, free to the community. It's our nonprofit promise
Yeah,
of
Jack.
bringing education and information about the beneficial nature of gaming to you. Go ahead, Nate.
Well, Jack, you did just mention a donation to the Bodhana Group.
Yes.
You know it would make a great present for the gamer in your life is a donation in their name to the Bodhana Group. And may I remind you folks, tax season is upon us. It is coming soon. And as a nonprofit organization, that is a tax deductible, expense.
We're bringing Nate on every show from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, Nate, not to embarrass, but Nate also is Nate contributes every year to the Bodhana Board Game Library, which is another form of donation that we do accept. We take our library out to local events, whether it be a community-based event, school-based events, different organizations, and we are currently sitting in a library of about 2,000 games. We have more games in our library than most conventions, which is something that we're very pleased about.
2005 after the ones I dropped off last week.
Oh, that is more than that. We're about 2012 if we count all those.
But oh man, we're more than a space odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't plug it, I was working on that plug.
Yeah. That was a good plug. So sincerely, thank you everybody for watching, tuning in. If you've stumbled upon this content, please tell others about it. Again, this is our Treehouse series, which is all designed to be a little bit kind of more laid back, but we'll be joining you with more focused content as the weeks go by. And please, if we don't get to see you before then, please enjoy your holiday. Take care of yourselves and each other. And as always, I've been one of your hosts, Jack Birkenstock from Bodhana.
I will continue to be James Kirk, even after we sign off.
And as always, I'm Nate Martin, here sometimes, friend always.
Wow, we've all created our own sign-off phrases just off the cuff. That's beautiful.
We're just that good.
Oh, we are absolutely that good. All right, everybody, be well.
Bye.